Alrighty, everyone, from that clickety clack sound, it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanas. This is episode 20, season 1. Today's date is October 9th, 2022. And thank you for joining me today. And here is today's lineup for this wonderful program. I think it's wonderful. Okay, from the 1940s, I will talk about the Wendy Barrie Show. From the 1950s, the TV animated series Felix the Cat. From the 1960s, the TV sitcom The Ugliest Girl in Town. From the 1970s, I have the comedy drama Flying High. From the 1980s, the television sitcom Coming of Age. From the 1990s, the crime drama Buddy Faro. And from the 2000s, the comedy drama Easy Money. Very interesting show. I'm glad I selected these shows to discuss with you, and I'll talk about its history and who was in the cast. Very interesting cast members of each show, so we'll see about that. And this program is about programs that went into TV oblivion, that are rarely syndicated and totally forgotten. And that's what I'm here for, to dredge up the memories. Okay, so first off, I will get started, but first off, I will play a commercial. And this program is brought to you by Jubilee Cleaner, and this is from the 1960s, and I remember this cleaner very well because it had a pretty bottle. It had like two colors, like I think red and blue, red and green, or something like that. So here, like I said, so here's a commercial for Jubilee Cleaner from the 1960s. So sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
This dull kitchen makes me feel like jumping out the window.
Don't do it, Louise. Haven't you heard? Here's something new that will brighten your kitchen. New spray Jubilee Kitchen Wax. It's so easy to use. Just spray and wipe. Some shine, huh?
It cleans as it shines.
Watch this. Spills bead up on the Jubilee side because the hard wax finish won't let them settle down. So you whiz through daily cleanups.
Take a shine to your kitchen surfaces. Use Jubilee Kitchen Wax regularly. New spray or liquid from Johnson Wax.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Jubilee Cleaner. I'd like to clarify something. I made a boo-boo. The bottle, the colors of the bottle were red, black, and blue. And I remember it came in. It was actually, this cleaner was a cleaning wax. That's what it was, and it would clean countertops and any surface. So it was a very good product. You know, it makes it all shiny and all that. Excuse me. Also, that was on the market for about late 50s or 60s. I think it disappeared in the 70s, but now it is back. And you can order it on Amazon if you'd like. I don't know if Target sells it, Walmart, maybe. If you happen to go shopping someday, and if you go to the cleaning section, you know, cleaning aisles, maybe you'll find this product. You know, maybe I intend to do that someday. We'll see. So we'll see about that. You know, but that commercial, you know, it's a typical 60s commercial. They're very nostalgic and very fun to watch. So you can find it on YouTube if you like. Okay. The beginning of the program, I explained the lineup for today's show, so we're going to get started. And right now, I will talk about, from the late 1940s, the Wendy Barrie Show. That's a very obscure show. It's one of the earliest shows in vintage television. And also its star, Wendy Barrie. A lot of people have forgotten about her. So I'll talk about her and the show. Okay. And this, she had a very interesting life. So here we go. So Wendy Barrie was born Marguerite Wendy Jenkins on April 18th, 1912. and she was born in Hong Kong. And actually, she was born in London, so maybe she was raised by that, I guess. And then let's see, and then she tried to learn, acting and all that. She did a little stage acting and attended school in Switzerland. And then she made her film debut was in 1932. It was a film called Threads, and that was in London, of course. She didn't come to Hollywood yet, and she starred. Also, she's best known as Jane Seymour, the 1933 movie *The Private Life of Henry VIII*. I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time. Maybe I'll check it out. Let's see. Then she moved to the United States in 1935, and she made her first Hollywood film. It was called It's a Small World with Spencer Tracy. And then she starred in a movie with Jimmy Stewart called Speed in 1936. And then, and then she starred with Basil Rathbone, who played Sherlock Holmes in the Sherlock's movie, The Hound of Baskervilles. I forgot about that. I haven't seen that one movie in a long time. And she started with Lucille Ball in Five Came Back. And then, of course, she appeared in several of the movies like The Saint and The Falcon Mysteries, with George Sanders. And then her last movie was in 1954. And she also was on the radio. She did a few radio programs. And so from the Dumas, so now we're going to talk about her show right now. And the Wendy Barrie Show premiered on November 10th, 1948. And originally it aired on ABC, and then it moved to the Dumas Network in January of 1949. So that was one of the earliest networks like that. And it was one of the earliest talk shows of that era, that paved the way to others like that. Well, we all know that. And she invited guests. She talked and, with celebrities. I don't know what kind of celebrities and like that. The episodes do not survive. There is one episode that did. And it's on YouTube. And you can check it out if you like. It's in 2 parts. And her guest that she interviewed was Jack Shadenlin. I think that's how you say his name. And he was a musician, composer. And she interviewed him. So I'm going to play a clip of just the introduction of the Wendy Barrie Show. And there's like a contest going on there, And they showed the prize, and then it presents the prizes of that. So it's very interesting and it's the first time I heard her voice when she speaks. She has that English accent. It's kind of cute. Okay. So right now I'm going to play the Wendy Barrie Show from 1940, probably 48, 49. So enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Is the girl for me?
No! What's new? Look! It's Wendy Barrie. Yes, the Wendy Barrie Show, presented by Associated Food Stores. Say, save your Associated cash register receipts, will you? They entitle you to free wherever gifts, never before available in any supermarket promotion. Now see the beautiful items on display in your Associated Food Store. Then save your cash register receipts. They are literally worth their weight in gold. And now Associated proudly presents the star, the sparkling, the radiant, the girl. What's the name again? Oh, yeah, Wendy Barrie!
Lenny, every day when Mama sees you on the show, she says, those good-looking jackets, wow.
Bet.
You're the best
Wendy,
dressed.
Wendy,
Don't talk, what?
very important.
What?
Bert lost his heart today. We want to console him.
Bert Kaminsky?
Yeah.
What happened, darling?
He lost his heart.
You fell in love?
Something like that.
With whom?
He won't talk.
Oh, he's making terrible faces and you're giving away awful secrets. Have you fallen in love again?
No, it was a queen.
Because I asked you, on February 29th, and you said yes.
Oh, I didn't have yeah, I did. That's right. I didn't have the $1,000.
This is a day for us. First of all, that's too dark, Lenny. Make it lighter, darling, will you? Thank you. With the Novocaine and the teeth and everything, and three
Bingo.
tremendous big wheels from our industry.
Is that MGM boys?
Oh, MGM boys.
Maya's got some Mishpucha there.
No.
No?
No. They don't even understand that Maya Mishka, whatever it was you said. But will you please get immediately to the contest so we can have the star of the show take over?
All righty.
His name is Jack Shandon, by the way.
Yeah.
He's going to take over for Auntie Wendy any minute. He doesn't know it, but he is. Make with the contest, Art.
We'd like to tell everybody about our $40,000 contest, but we ain't got one. We got one for a couple of $1,000 less. First, you can win a trip to Atlantic City's glamorous Traymore Hotel, a week's vacation for two. Wonderful facilities, magnificent pool, and ice skating rink that have made Traymore synonymous with luxury. There's attractive and dependable Whitnell watches, distinguished part of the Longines Whitnell Watch Company, makers of watches of the highest character. There's $20 merchandise certificates for your choice of 12 handsome designs of Danish sterling silver direct from Denmark, now on display at H. Nils & Company. There's excitingly new Princess House cedar roll closet accessories of revolutionary see-through cedar-ized upon plastic, twice as heavy as ordinary storage bags. There's Sonic Capri 403-speed hi-fi phonograph, glamorous coup de fleur perfumed corsage by Astor, and lifelike roses and carnations. Wonderful new idea for year-round fragrance of flowers. Now there's an Endure QD alarm clock by L. Harrison Company featuring luminous dial, silent tick, clear, loud bell. Available in 7 decorator colors. There's a fabulous night on the town. Dinner for two. Sizzling steaks or broiled lobster at fabulous Scott's Seafood Restaurant, Queens Boulevard in Queens. And tickets to a hit Broadway show from Uppity, America's finest eyelash curler. For sparkling eye beauty, you can rely on Uppity for glamorous eye effects in seconds. All you do is tell us an idea. Your idea of what kind of a contest you'd like to see on The Wendy Barrie Show. Send it to 16 West 46th Street, New York. All entries become the property of The Wendy Barrie Show, will not be returned. Entries will be judged on originality, neatness, and aptness of thought. The decision of the judges will be final. Contest closes March 6th. Winners will be announced March 9th. Get your ideas for a contest on The Wendy Barrie Show in today.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of The Wendy Barrie Show. I failed to mention that this ran about 3.5 minutes. I wasn't going to put the whole show like that. And the show ended about 1950, and then she appeared in other television shows. And let's see, and the other one that replaced Through Wendy's Window. That was another, and that aired on NBC. There was a 15-minute program, and she interviewed celebrities. She talked about fashion and all that. And then she was a host. She was a hostess of the short-lived series Stars in Khaki and Blue, and it was like it was a primetime talent show for members of the armed forces, and that debuted on NBC September 13th, 1952, ended a few weeks, same month, not very long. And she continued to appear on television, and she did a stint as the original Revlon saleswoman. If you remember the game show, the $64,000 Question in the 50s. And, I saw a clip of that on YouTube, and I didn't know it was her, but yeah, it was. And that's interesting about that. And then, excuse me, she also syndicated a show, the same Wendy Barrie Show, but this was syndicated but didn't last very long. Yeah, she was very consistent, something like that. So, an interesting thing about her life was she became a naturalized American citizen in 1942, and she had a daughter, and I don't think she was married with, who the father was. It was Bugsy Siegel, the gangster. That was scary, like that. And no, I don't think she never married. Yeah, she was married. I'm sorry, she married a textile manufacturer. His name was David Elmeyer, and then she passed away in February 2nd, 1978, in New Jersey. She was 65 years old. And So yeah, because she had a stroke, so and she wasn't seen after that, so she just disappeared, So like I said before, a lot of people didn't remember her, But if you're a movie buff, especially from England, you would catch her and watch her movies, and you would see her. Also, she was in the movie Dead End with I think it was with the what's that called? The East Side Kids. Yeah, and I think it was that. I'm not sure. No, I don't. I'm not sure about that. That was with Humphrey Bogart. Oh, it's the Dead End Kids. Later on, the East Side Kids. I remember it was like like the Bowery Boys, and that started with Humphrey Bogart and Joel McCrea. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So that's another TV show that went into oblivion. Okay. Next up, I will talk about Felix the Cat. And this is based on the cartoon series, and it was created in 1919 by Pat Sullivan and Otto Mesmer during the silent film era. And it was a black cat, and he had white eyes and a black body and a big grin. He wasn't scary, so there was So they were silent, and I remember I read somewhere that he was the first image on television when television was invented, and they showed a image of Felix the cat, and that's amazing. And so I'm going to talk about the anime series that I grew up with, and that was in the 70s where I watched that. But the series first aired in the 50s, so I'll give a little history of that. So let's see. So Felix Cat debuted in 1958. I don't know what it was syndication. So here we go. The date was October 2nd, 1958. Ended May 13th, 1960. It ran for 2 seasons, 126 episodes, and it's from the Translux television company, but I think it was Paramount before. I'm not sure. But Translux is the same company that did Speed Racer in the 60s from Japan. And so Felix the Cat had a magic bag of tricks, and this bag of tricks he would stretch it into all kinds of shapes, like a plane, probably a trumpet, anything. Sometimes a gun, maybe a gun. I didn't see that, or anything to protect himself, from enemies. And I will get to those in a second. And the supporting cast had, before I get to that, I remember he used to say radio, he would say, and then he would laugh at the end, he would hold, his hands would hold his belly and start to have a belly laugh. It's kind of cute. And let's see, so his supporting cast was, there was the professor. He was an arch enemy. He was like a mad scientist, and I remember he had like white hair, kind of oval-shaped head, and he would find some way to retrieve that bag of tricks. He always wanted that, but he always failed. He always failed to do that. And also there was Rock Bottom, and that was his sidekick, and he looked like a bulldog. And sometimes he worked with with the professor, sometimes alone, and every time at the end, Rock Bottom would say, "Oh, what's the use?" Because he always gave up, and he wanted to retrieve the bag of tricks too. Also, in another bad guy was the Master Cylinder, King of the Moon. I remember he looked like a trash can with a big eyes and long, claws like that. And sometimes he was in cahoots with the professor or Rock Bottom. Also, there was General Clang. He was an evil general in space. He wanted the rocket formula. I don't know. I don't really remember him. Maybe I missed him. And now I'll talk about the good guys. The good guys was Poindexter. He was the nephew of the professor. He was like a nerd. And sometimes when Felix the Cat was in Poindexter, the professor was very nice to him for some reason. He just changed it. He changed his attitude. It's amazing, because I think he cared for his nephew very well. Also, there was Martin the Martian, and he always helped Felix, whenever they were in trouble. And the last supporting caster, which was my favorite, was Vavoom. And then he looked like an Eskimo, like an Inuit, and he would not say any, but he didn't say anything except Vavoom. When he did that, that's why his mouth opened. It's hilarious. I love that character. It's hilarious. It's funny like that. And he always helped Felix in whatever jams he was in, to defeat the professor, Rock Bottom, Master Cylinder. I don't know how many episodes he was in. Probably a lot, And the theme song was written by Winston Sharples, and it was performed by a big band singer named Ann Bennett. And she had a pretty voice. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song for Felix the Cat. And when I come back, I will talk about my memories of watching the show in Chicago. Okay. So here we go.
Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. Whenever he gets in a fix, he reaches into his bag of tricks. Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. You laugh so much your sides will ache, your heart will go pit-a-pat. Watching Felix, the wonderful cat.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Felix the Cat. The show first aired in Chicago on WGN TV Channel 9. It was syndicated. I had a newspaper ad. I found that. And then later on, it aired in the 60s on WFLD TV Channel 32 around 3 o'clock, 3:30. I remember coming home from school and watching it. That's where I first watched it. And I was enthralled. I love that. I love the show. Then I moved to WSNS TV Channel 44. They aired there for a few years. And then into the early 80s, it aired on WPWR TV Channel 60, then moved to Channel 50. Do that. Anyone in Chicago lived at that time, they would remember. It's on DVD, only the first season. I wish more episodes were released, but we haven't heard it. That was released on time ago, so I don't know what happened. So let's see. When was it released? Not too long ago, I guess. First, it was released in VHS, but only about a few episodes. And then it was released in 2006. And just a few episodes first. And then they released the first season on October 2nd, 2007. Okay. So I think I have. I don't think I have it. I don't think so. Maybe I do. It's been a while. So hopefully it'll be released. I will buy it because it was a wonderful show. I love the show very much. Okay. Next up, we have the comedy drama from the 1960s. We have the television sitcom, The Ugliest Girl in Town. Oh boy, this was one of the worst TV shows ever, according to most critics and TV aficionados, if you can say that. And I don't know, when I watched the show on YouTube recently, and I found it kind of charming, a little bit, again, kind of silly, but it was okay. So here's the history of the show. This premiered September 26, 1968, and then it ended January 30th, 1969. It aired, it had 20 episodes, but there were 3 unaired, as usual. And the The premise was there was a Hollywood talent agency. His name was Timothy Blair. And he noticed a British actress from London visiting the United States doing a movie. And her name was Julie Renfield. And after the movie was done, she goes back to England and to help her brother Gene. And then Timothy dresses up as a hippie, back then, this is the 60s, and poses for a photo shoot. And the photos are sent to a modeling agent to England, the people that worked there, the agent that saw the photos assumed that he was a girl, and he wasn't. And he offers her a job. So he thought he wanted to get close to Julie, the that he's infatuated with. He dresses up as a woman, and so he goes back and forth, dresses up a woman, dresses up a man. It sounds like bosom buddies to me, in a way. And so in the cast was there was actor Peter Kastner. I think that's how you say it. Sounds like my name, Costanas, like that. And he played Timothy Blair. Julie Renfield was played by Patricia Blake, and her brother was Gary Marshall. Not Gary Marshall, the producer, not Penny Marshall's brother. This is Gary Marshall with one L, and he's from England. And also there was Jenny Till. She plays Sandra Wollstone. And also Nicholas Parsons. He was an English actor, and he also hosted the game show Sale of the Century. I didn't know that. He played David Courtney. And, like I said before, this show was really bad. But it has a catchy theme song. I like the song. And that is sung by an American folk rock group. It was a trio called the Willoughbys, and they sang pretty well. And they produced this, the show was produced in the United States, but they did film location shots in England. They did that. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play the introduction of The Ugliest Girl in Town. And when I come back, I'll talk about Peter Kastner. He was an interesting actor at the time. And I'll talk about his biography a little bit. So sit back and enjoy The Ugliest Girl in Town.
Hi, my name is Tim Blair. I used to be a nice, normal, clean-cut American kid. And then I met Julie Renfield, a young British actress visiting Hollywood. She turned my whole world upside down. But when the movie she was making ended and she returned to London, I was just about ready to die. To forget my broken heart, I posed for my photographer brother, who needed some hippie pictures in a hurry. By mistake, they ended up in London.
I really dig that earthy look. I want that girl.
Look, it's my only chance to be with Julie. And that's how I became the ugliest girl in town.
Who owns that fabulous face? The ugliest girl in town. Whose clothes are setting the pace? The ugliest girl in town. You don't have to be Romeo or Sophia. This is the year of the clown. Be the stinkiest, ugliest girl in town.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction and the theme song of The Ugliest Girl in Town. Like I said before, it's a catchy theme song, but the show was not good. But so anyway, I'm going to talk about Peter Kastner. He's an interesting person. He was born in Toronto, Canada, and he played in a lot of movies in the 60s, and in Canada. And his first leading role was a film in Canada in 1964 called Nobody Wave Goodbye. And it was like a documentary. And it seemed interesting. I like to see that. And his breakthrough role was in Francis Ford Coppola's comedy in 1966, You're a Big Boy Now. and that's I heard about this movie. I never seen it. So it had a good cast. It had Elizabeth Hartman. You remember from I forgot the name of the movie where she played a blind woman. A Patch of Blue. Thank you. Patch of Blue and Geraldine Page, Rip Torn, Karen Black, and Julie Harris. And then he came over and did the sitcom. And then, but believe it or not, I remember him from his roles on Love American Style. He must have done about 10, a lot of them. And I remember seeing the name when I was growing up, when I watched the reruns, and he was there for a while. And he was very popular, I guess so. And then he returned to Canada and did some more film and TV roles. And he started a sitcom called Custard Pie. I never heard of that. And that was produced by the CBC. That was in Canada. And after he stopped acting, then he became a teacher in high school in Massachusetts. So, and when he probably taught, they didn't know who he was like that. And unfortunately, he passed away on September 18th, 2008. He had a heart attack in Canada, and his brother was John Kastner in Canada, and also he had two sisters, Susan, she was a journalist, and Kathy, a television host on Canadian television. Also, Jamie Kastner. And oh no, that was Susan's son. His sister. That's his nephew, Jamie Kastner. He's a documentary filmmaker. I apologize for that. So that's what a sad life. Yeah, because I heard he was a victim of incest, and that was terrible. And I heard he was. I read somewhere he became suicidal about the whole thing, but he recovered, so that was good at the time. Terrible. So he seemed like a talented guy. He's like that. And the funny thing is, his name is similar to mine. So, and somewhat only a few consonants and extra vowels is involved. So. If you want to catch an episode of The Ugliest Girl in Town on YouTube, help yourself. If you like it, great. If you can't stand it and you thought it was stupid, that's fine too. Another TV sitcom went to TV oblivion. Okay. Next up, we have from the 1970s, the comedy drama Flying High. And I remember this show. And this premiered on CBS August 28th, 1978, and ended January 23rd, 1979. And it had 18 episodes. 3 were unaired, but they had a TV film, like that. And the plot of the show was 3 flight attendants, and they worked for an airline. And, they had relationships or situations, that whatever arose. Like that. And it had an interesting cast. And it had Catherine Witt played Pam Bellagio. I think that's the actress who played in Porky's. I think it is. I gotta find out. And also Connie Selica, one of her earliest TV roles before Greatest American Hero. And she played Lisa Benton. Also Pat Klaus played Marcy Bauer. I remember she took over Lori Tweez on The Love Boat. And it was also Howard Platt. He played Captain Doug March. He was also Smitty, I think, from Sanford and Son. No, Officer Hopkins. Yeah, I'm sorry. Smitty was the other guy. That was Hal Williams. I get that mixed up. Also was Keith Olsen. He played Raymond Strickman. And I remember the advertisement and the promos of this show, and it was looked very interesting. I saw a couple episodes when this aired when I was in high school. I remember that. And right now I'm going to play the theme song for Flying High. It's also at the end titles, so you get the introduction and the ending at the same time. So here is the TV show Flying High. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction and the ending of Flying High. This was like Charlie's Angels. That's what it reminds me. I want to correct something. Catherine Witt did not appear in Porky's. That was Keiki Hunter, I think that's her name. Yeah, Keiki Hunter. But they look similar. But it wasn't her. No. She appeared in a few movies. Like for example, she was in Freebie and the Being. Also, Star 80, remember that? Also, a lot of television shows like Riptide, Matt Houston, A-Team, and also in, let's see, what else? Also in the movie Philadelphia that starred Tom Hanks. She was in there. I watched Philadelphia a long time ago. I don't remember seeing her. I got to look at her again. As for Connie Selica, well, we know what happened to her. She was on Greatest American Hero, and then she starred in Hotel. Wonderful show. I liked her in that. And I haven't seen her lately. I don't know. I don't know if she's still acting or not. Probably. She was married to John Tesh from Entertainment Tonight. I think they're still married. And I guess they are. So another TV show went to oblivion, Flying High. If you want to catch, there's a couple episodes on YouTube. If you want to watch, help yourself. It's great to go back in the 70s when it was carefree. Okay. Next up, I have from the 1980s, the television sitcom Coming of Age. This is an interesting song. And this aired for 2 seasons. Aired 15 episodes, 4 unaired, as usual. It aired on CBS. First aired March 15, 1988, ended July 27, 1989. As like I said before, 2 seasons. Had an interesting cast. And it was set in a retirement community in Arizona. And there were 2 couples. There was Paul Dooley. We know him. He was in a lot of movies and a lot of television. He was in 16 Candles, Breaking Away. He was Popeye, and he did a lot. He's a wonderful guy. I remember watching him on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He played, I think, a butcher, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. And also in the cast was Phyllis Newman. Okay. And, Paul Dooley's character, his name was Dick Hale. Phyllis Newman's character was Ginny Hale. That's wife. She was a stage actress, a lot of musicals, television. I remember from What's My Line, very pretty lady. And, I remember seeing her on Law and Order recently, and then she passed away recently too. And also there was Alan Young, of course, Wilbur Post from Mr. Ed. He played Ed Pepper, and his wife was played by Glynis Johns. She played Trudy Pepper, and believe it or not, she is still alive. She's 99 years old. Wow, God bless her. And she's doing well. I think she's one of the original Batman villains that are still alive at this time. She just started with Rudy Valley as Lady Pea Soup, Lady Penelope Pea Soup. Also in the cast was Kevin Pollak. He was in a lot of, he was a comedian, actor. He was in a lot of movies. Also, there was Ruta Lee. We know her from movies, television, game shows. But I saw the show a couple times. It was a good show. I liked it, but the ratings, no. Ratings didn't do very well, and I liked all the actors, especially Phyllis Newman and Alan Young. They're very charming. Glynis Johns, of course. She had her own sitcom called Glynis, I think 1960, in the 60s. I'll talk about that someday. It only lasted about, a year. But right now I'm going to play the theme song of Coming of Age. And that's, the theme song is Sing, 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 and it's performed by Doc Severson. And I think it was performed first in 1936 by Louis Prima. That's good. I have it on my Apple Music. I love that song. So here's the theme song of Coming of Age. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Coming of Age. I'm going to talk about Phyllis Newman a little bit. Like I said, she was in musicals. She was a singer, and she won a Tony Award for her role as Martha Vale in the musical Subways Are for Sleeping on. Subways Are for Sleeping. Excuse me. And she was married to Adolph Green, and he was a playwright, and he collaborated with Betty Comden for most of the screenplays during the Broadway era, at that time, and very famous couple. And so Phyllis appeared in a lot of musicals, Broadway, and continued all the way to the end, really. And then she did television, and she appeared on game shows, talk shows, What's My Line, Match Game, To Tell the Truth. She was on The Tonight Show. She was also on soap operas, One Life to Live, and let's see what else. And she was on The Wild Wild West. I didn't know that. And movies she appeared were Picnic, with William Holden, and Mannequin from 1987. I remember that. And let's see what else. Also, she was on 30 Something. She played Melanie Marin's mother. I heard she was on that. So she was a lovely lady. And she passed away on September 15, 2019. She was 86 years old. Yeah, very talented lady and very pretty. Okay. Next up, we have from the 1990s, the crime drama Buddy Faro. I remember this show. And this starred Dennis Farina. And it first aired on CBS September 25th, 1998. And it's December 4th of the same year. Only ran about 13 episodes, 5 unaired, as usual, like that. And the premise of the show was there was a legendary private investigator that disappeared in 1978 when he was trying to solve the murder of the woman he fell in love with. Then you go down. Then 20 years later, he is tracked down by PI Bob Jones. That was played by Frank Whaley. He's in the cast, and they reopened Buddy's agency. And also in the cast was Allison Smith. She played Julie Barber, and she was also best known in The West Wing. Was in there. Also, there was Charlie Robinson. He's known as Mac from Night Court. He was in the cast. I saw the show maybe once or twice. It was pretty good. Dennis Farina was a policeman in the Chicago Police Department. And he starred in Crime Story. That was a great show. I loved that. And like I said before, it didn't do well in the ratings. So right now I'm going to play a theme song for Buddy Faro. When I come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Dennis Farina, because I find him a very interesting man. So here it is. Sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you. Okay, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to Buddy Faro. Talk about a little about Dennis Farina. Like I said before, he was a policeman in the Chicago Police Department. He was there for 18 years. Wow, long time. He was born in Chicago, February 29, 1944. And let's see, his father was a doctor. I didn't know that. And they lived in Old Town. They lived there in an Old Town neighborhood. And then I don't know how this led to be acting. So this is what happened. If you remember the movie in 1981, Thief, that starred the late James Caan, he served as a police consultant to the director Michael Mann, who directed Miami Vice. He's best known for that. And then let's see. Then he got a small role, and that's where he started his acting career. He did that. And then he starred in a few episodes of Miami Vice. And then he was in Code of Silence with Chuck Norris. And then he went to Crime Story. And that was a good show that aired on NBC for 2 years. And other movies he played were Midnight Run with Robert De Niro. Also Get Shorty, Manhunter, Saving Private Ryan. He did a lot of movies. And let's see. And he started with he started with Bette Midler in the romantic comedy The Old Feeling. I remember that show. And also did another TV sitcom called The In-Laws, and that aired from 2002 to 2003. So he's done in that. And so he, I guess he didn't want to be a policeman anymore. That's the end of that. And then he was hired on Law and Order, and he stayed. He played Detective Joan Fontana. He was in there for a couple of years, And so I don't really remember that. No, I don't remember that at all. And then he hosted Unsolved Mysteries after Robert Stack. I think he replaced him. I don't know if he passed away after that. I have no idea. He did that for about 175 episodes of that. And then he did other shows and movies. And then, unfortunately, he passed away. And he passed away on July 22nd, 2013. He was 69 in Arizona. And so that's a shame. But he was very talented. I liked him a lot. He was a very real Chicago person. Well, to me, I don't know about others, but Buddy Faro, when he was in the show, he was good in that. I liked it. I liked it a lot. You can catch it on YouTube if you'd like. Okay. Next up we have is Easy Money. And this is not about the 1983 movie starring Rodney Dangerfield. This is a TV show, and it's unrelated to that. Okay, so that aired on the CW on October 5th, 2008, ended August 16th, 2009. Only ran for 8 episodes, very short. And it was a comedy drama. And they had a good cast, and the plot was it was a man. He was 20 years old. His name was Morgan Bufkin, and he was in charge of the Prestige payday loans. Like you see those commercials. You want a quick loan, and so he's running the business, and it's part of. So there were plots that involved with the store like that, and it had a good cast. The man who played Morgan Buffkin was Jeff Hefner, and you remember him on Chicago Fire and also on Chicago Med. Okay. Also in the cast was his mother, Laurie Metcalf, played Babette Buffkin. Of course, we know her as Jackie from Roseanne. Also, Nick Searcy, who played Roy Buffkin. Also in the cast was J.R. Ferguson. He played Cooper. That was his brother. Believe it or not, J.R. Ferguson and Laurie Metcalf now star in The Connors. They're together. So that's it. I never knew that they started another show before like that. And he was also known in Evening Shade. He played Burt Reynolds' son. I remember that. Also in the cast was Katie Lowes. She played Brandy Buffkin. She was known in Scandal. Remember that show? Also in the cast was Judge Reinhold. We remember him from Beverly Hills Cop, Fast Times at Richmond High. Wonderful actor. And unfortunately, it didn't last very long. And let's see. So let's see. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song for Easy Money. And I saw the show a couple times. I think I said this before. It was okay, but it was there. Now it was gone. Disappeared. So when I come back, I'll talk about Laurie Metcalf. She has an interesting career. She's a funny lady. I like her. So again, here is the theme song for Easy Money. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Easy Money. I forgot. I failed again. It was a long introduction. It's about 2 minutes long, a little over 2 minutes. I will talk about Larry. Excuse me. Talk about Larry Metcalf. She's best known as Jackie Harris on Roseanne. She's a very talented lady. She's from Carbondale, Illinois, and she was in this, I believe, in the Steppenwolf Theater. She did that, and then she got hired in 1988 to star in Roseanne. And then she was there until all the way to the end. And she played Roseanne's sister, and she was funny. You know, here's some interesting trivia about her. She appeared on Saturday Night Live, and she was there. She was there on this. She appeared on the last episode in the 1980-1981 season. That's where all the main cast members left, and they replaced them, and it didn't do very well. And she appeared, and they didn't ask her to come back. So that was interesting. I wish that season was on DVD. I would watch that. That would be great, And so after Roseanne, she appeared in a lot of shows, and then she co-starred with Norm Macdonald on the Norm Show for 3 seasons. Unfortunately, passed away. Very funny man. And she was also in series Charlie Lawrence that starred Nathan Lane. I saw that commercial. So she kept busy. She really kept busy. Her daughter. Her name is Zoe Perry, and she plays in the spin-off series of the prequel of The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon, and that is her. If I catch that show again, I'll find that. So that'd be interesting to see, and she's. But Laurie Metcalf does appear on Young Sheldon. She does appear in that, so that's good. She's one of those character actresses like you see her all the time. She did some films, and she also was in believe it or not, there was the Robert Altman comedy A Wedding. Saw that movie a long time ago. I didn't notice her, and she was a maid, and she was also in Desperately Seeking Susan, starring Madonna, and also in Uncle Buck with John Candy. Okay. Phew, what a lineup. Okay, so that'll be all for today's show. Here's a recap of what I discussed today on this program. All right, here is the lineup. From the late 1940s, we have the talk show, The Wendy Barrie Show. From the 1950s, the TV anime series, Felix the Cat. From the 1960s, we have the television sitcom, The Ugliest Girl in Town. From the 1970s, we have the comedy drama Flying High. From the 1980s, we have the TV sitcom Coming of Age. From the 1990s, we have the TV crime drama Buddy Faro. And from the 2000s, we have the comedy drama Easy Money. That's it. So once this episode is published, you can listen to wherever podcast is available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox. What's the other one? Can't think of it. Overcast. It's also on my YouTube channel on TV Oblivion, the podcast. It will be pushed. It takes a while for that to be loaded on that, so just look out for that. Also, it'll be posted on my social media accounts, also Facebook and Twitter, if you care to listen. So, had a good time. I really did. So this is Pete Costanis, your host for TV Oblivion, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I'll have another episode next weekend. It'll be episode 21. I'm going slowly but surely. I'm having a ball. And what I discuss on the show, all the television shows went to TV Oblivion. Never heard from again until I bring them back from the dead. Yeah. So thank you for everyone for listening to me. Right now, here's the Pick and Pluck song. That's the ending theme song for this show. So take care, everyone. So long.